Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today I'm answering a Dear Ruth Theresa question. That's right, today I'm answering kind of a strange question. I had to do some research on this one. So I got asked by a client of mine if I had seen a doppelganger. And I was like, I know what a doppelganger is. It's someone who looks just like someone else. They're not twins. They're not, it's not a science thing like, oh, you're looking at two twins that look really much. And no, this is about two separate people with different lineages that look really similar. And I said, actually, I've actually seen several people over the last few months that could be a doppelganger for someone else. And we were chatting about it, so I thought I would do this video for you to kind of bring you in on the conversation a little bit. Let's talk about this a little bit. So one of the interesting things is, for me personally, I have been seeing doppelgangers from an aunt that passed, I want to say like 4 years ago. I saw a lady that looked just like her when I was in high school. I mean, I literally had to do a quadruple take of like, oh my gosh, who is this person? I mean, like, I was like, nope, not related to her in any way, shape, or form. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is really interesting. A couple of weeks later, I saw, or before that, a couple of weeks before that, I actually saw someone that looked like one of my sisters. And I literally walked up to the lady and I was like, hello? You know what I'm saying? And she was just like, who are you? And I was like, oh my gosh, you look just like my sister. And I found a picture of my sister on the internet and showed her, and she was just like, oh my gosh, this looks like we could be twins. And I said, really, y'all look very much alike. But I've seen a lot of people's like doppelganger, and kind of like an interesting part, because I've heard and I've kind of looked up that when you see your doppelganger, it means you're going to pass. Well, that's not really true. It's one of those, it's just someone who looks a lot like you, but kind of the interesting part is they're not your twin. They're not your twin at all in any way, shape, or form. So that's kind of like, interesting with that part. Doppelgangers can show up in any person. And I know a lot of celebrities and politicians have someone that stands in for them at times that is like a doppelganger that looks just like them. And I've heard of people on the internet that look just like celebrities, and they'll get celebrity gigs or whatever else, like, because they just look like that person. They just look like that person. And so they will get celebrity jobs because they'll look like that person. And I've seen this a lot in politics as well. There are several different politicians, like if they want to hide one person, they'll bring out the doppelganger and have this person on display where the real person is not on display. So that's kind of an interesting one. I've seen that many, many times in politics. But I will say that it's kind of interesting that I've seen several of them that for people that have passed. Like my aunt had passed, like I said, about 4 years ago. And it was kind of an interesting thing to kind of see someone that just looked like her. It kind of took me back for a little bit. But what really started all of this was my client asked me if I had seen one. And she said she saw someone that just looked just like me. And I was like, interesting. And I said, it's an interesting fact that there are people that look like you in the world. So it's kind of like there are people that look like you or similar enough like you that could kind of maybe pass. If someone didn't really know you, they may pass as your sister or a twin or something like that. But that's kind of an interesting phenomenon. But I'm asking for more information. I'm asking my angels and guides through these angel cards to give me more information about the doppelgangers. Like, talk to me through these cards. What do I require knowing? What do I require telling you about in all of this? So this is our first card, and this is Sun, and this is the source. And what I get is they are, I don't want to say like they're sourced or they're made to look like you, but it's one of those, it's just, it's kind of like a genetic code going back. It's like the source code didn't get changed that much between you and the next person that was being created at the time. And so I was like, that's really interesting. One of the things that I also get is they may not be from the original planet you are from. So they may be completely different from another planet. This is the 6th house, and this is sustainability. And it's one of those, and it's not like this person is going to take over for you in any way, shape, or form, because a lot of the people that you meet that are doppelgangers, that have met their doppelgangers, have completely different lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? Like one is an engineer and one is a construction worker. And you're like, they don't really have a lot to do. They have similar aspects to each other that are the same, but not enough where one could take over for the other. So I get that a lot, that it's not a complete like takeover, but it's one of those like there's more inner. And so these 2 cards came forward at the same time. So this is the 7th house of relationships, and it's meant to teach you. Doppelgangers are meant to teach you things that you may not have picked up as a child. So that's an interesting one. And then this is the 10th house, and this is about authority. And this is done to kind of be a teacher, kind of like that authoritative teacher, and teach you different things. Because when you meet your doppelganger, you should get to know your doppelganger, and that you should understand that they may have life lessons that you hadn't picked up on, and you may have some that they haven't picked up on. So that could be quite an interesting little interlude of getting to know each other and kind of your strengths and weaknesses. Upside down again. This is Jupiter, and this is all about abundance. And what I get is this kind of gives us an abundance of energy and an abundance of kind of like hearing the message from ourselves, but it's not ourselves, but it looks enough like us that it's going to make us act like, oh my gosh, like I learned this myself. When you hear what they've learned or how they've learned things, it's going to change how you take that in. It's not like someone telling you, don't do this because I've already did that and I hurt myself. It's one of those, it's kind of like you telling yourself. This is the North Node, and this is all about the future. And this is all about our future learning and our future ability to learn and take in knowledge and information. So this is a really interesting concept of like, what is it and where is it coming in from? And that knowledge is always growing and always moving forward. Second house, this is all about resources. Your resources will be doubled, because a lot of times when you find your doppelganger, you really do become like fast friends, because of course you already look alike. So that kind of breaks the ice a lot. So that kind of gives you a resource of knowledge and information, and where should you go and look for things. And they're going to give you that insight that you may be missing, but it's almost like hearing from yourself is what I get. 12th house, this is introspection. This is all about your perspective of learning, and it's because there's 2 of you. You almost can do downloads to each other and give each other that new introspection of learning something through you, but learning it through them as well. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. It's kind of like you're learning something, but they learned it for you, and then they just downloaded the information, kind of like they just downloaded the programming to you, and now you're able to take advantage of that information. This is about the 3rd house, and this is all about communication. And that's what I get with the doppelgangers. It's all about communication. You are meant to be with them and learn a lot from them, and learn a lot about who they are, what they are, and how they deal with things in life. This is going to be really interesting. This is the Midhaven, and this is the Pinnacle. And it's kind of like when you meet them, it's going to be amazing, and you're going to stay on that high for a very long period of time, which is going to draw in a lot of energy to you, a lot of things going on, a lot of things activating in you, which brings us to this one. This is Mars, and this is all about being in motion. It's activating us in some amazing ways to bring in some amazing energy for us. And I will say that kind of one of the interesting parts is that you are going to have the downloadability of a twin. So like instead of each of y'all have to do your own download, you can do this part and I can do this part. So that makes it much, much easier. Neptune, this is all about wisdom and bringing in that wisdom, not only from yourself, but from someone else as well. This can be amazing to have that insight in there and kind of bring things in a different way. The last card I'm pulling is collaborate. So this is all about like collaborating in your life. collaborating how you fix or change things, or how you modify things, how you do things differently. It is going to be amazing when you do this, when you find your doppelganger and able to connect with them in a different way. And it doesn't mean like you have to be friends forever, but I guarantee it's going to change you and them for a long period of time. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.